We now start with the top story of the hour. An alumni association of Cochin University of Science and Technology Cuba Committee in Dubai is facing social media backlash after warmly welcoming former Pakistani cricketer Shahid Afridi at a recent event. Netizens slammed the group for their hospitality, citing Shahid Afridi's remarks following the Pahalgam terror attack that claimed the lives of 26 innocent civilians on April 22nd. In a widely circulated video on social media, Afridi is seen being welcomed by the Cuba committee amid loud cheers. Well, Shahid Afridi has maintained a strong anti-India stance since the recent military and diplomatic tensions between the two countries. While speaking on Pakistan's Sama TV in April, Afridi said, "Even if a cracker were to burst in India, fingers will always be pointed at Pakistan." Another example of Pakistan's fabricated victimhood narrative. My colleague Asavri Jindal is joining us live on the broadcast for more on this story. Asavri, please take us through the details.
Malvika, now before we jump into the details of who exactly these people are, I have to make it abundantly clear to everyone that this is not the Kerala community. It is the Kerala organization that invited Afridi. The name is the Cuba Committee of the Cochin University of Science and Technology. It's an alumni association. So let's just first get that out there. Not the Kerala community, but the Cuba Association, which is an alumni association of the Cochin University of Science and Technology. I'm going to quickly request my crew to take on screen what I have over here to give you and the viewers an understanding on who exactly it is that is a part of this community, people who are responsible for organizing this event. At the top over here, we have Vivek Jayakumar, who is the president of the Cuba Committee, Adarsh Nasir, the General Secretary of the Cuba Committee that did organize this event, Dr. Ramzana Nujum, the Treasurer of the Cuba Committee, Arun Kumar, the Vice President, Rizwan Mupeen, the Joint General Secretary and AFCAF representative, Beslin Saju, the Sports Secretary, Vani Arun, Arts Secretary, Remin Mohammad Ali, the Joint Secretary of Sports, Mujit Mohandas, the Joint Arts Secretary, Sujita Sukumaran, the Ladies Club Secretary, and Revant Ravi, the Volunteer and Coordinator. These 11 individuals that are on your screens are the ones who did host this event in Dubai for Shahid Ansari, who, ladies and gentlemen, is not just a Pakistani cricketer. When the Pahalgam terror attack took place, he had all sorts of comments to make against India. He did insult the Indian army as well. He went on to say that it was India that was responsible for the Pahalgam terror attack. So again, all sorts of obscure, weird and absolutely distasteful comments have been made by Shahid Afridi. And viewers, not just that, Malvika, not just that, there is a clarification that's now been issued by the Cuba Committee. And they're saying that, and I'm going to quote them over here, on 25th May 2025, same day as our event, the aforementioned cricketer visited the same venue as a part of the Guinness World Records for largest UAE flag and handprints. This is reported in a prominent UAE newspaper, Gulf News article published on May 27. The flag was displayed on the main entrance of the auditorium where our event was being conducted. Now they're trying to say, and this statement has been issued on 30th May, they're trying to say that this was not something that was preempted, this was not something that was on the cards, but it was something that just happened accidentally. How is that possible? Let's just look at the visuals that are on the left side of the screen. Why is there so much of excitement over there? How are they trying to label it as something that was not scheduled, that was not planned? Again, that's the big question that looms large. We can see those visuals on our screens. There is a celebration that's happening. This man has been welcomed with a red carpet, if you may please. And this is the statement and the clarification that the Cuba committee is trying to give off and try to run away from all the traction that these guys have been given now, that they have given this man a grand entrance. Netizens on social media are completely shocked and angry with what's happening. Malvika, back to you.
Thank you, Savri. My colleague Brian Thomas is now joining us live for more on this story. Brian, the Cuba committee has rolled out a red carpet for Shahid Afridi in Dubai, even after his repeated remarks against India and the Indian forces. Please take us through the details. All right, well, there seem to be some issues with the connection there. I also have Navya Haridas, BJP leader, joining me live on the broadcast. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. You know, the Cuba committee in Dubai, Cochin University's Alumni Association, has rolled out a red carpet, given such a grand welcome to Shahid Afridi, despite the Pakistani cricketer's remarks against India. What do you have to say about this situation? How do you see this latest development?
It's such an insult to the community, first of all, I want to say, because we all know what stand Shahid Afridi had taken in that Pahalgam attack. He had criticized India in a very bad way during that attack, and also stood for Pakistan very strongly. We wonder what message this community is giving to the society by giving such a warm welcome, such a grand welcome to Shahid Afridi in that to that event. We need a clarification regarding the intention behind this event and behind welcoming Shahid Afridi to this event in such a grand way. Actually speaking, the Kerala community is so insulted by coming to the fact that they have offered such a welcome to a person who strongly stands for Pakistan and strongly criticizes India. Actually, this has brought an insult to the Indian army and also the Pahalgam attack victims also.
Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, ma'am. I now have my colleague Brian Thomas joining us for more on this story. Brian, please take us through the details. How do you see this development of the Cuba Association in Dubai?
Clearly, you know, Malvika, it is a bit of a shocker when you get to see that Pahalgam was such a big blow, where it attacked the Pakistanis, the perpetrators attacked the Indian soul, where unfortunately 26 people also, they lost their lives. One was from Kerala itself, Edapalli, and Ramacharan itself, and now we see in a different scenario that in UAE, the very Cuba community of the Cochin University, this very university I also have opened the very Cuba community of 2025, which is also called the Q Chronicle. These members, they were shown greeting Shahid Afridi, also Shahid Afridi and Umar Gul at this very UAE Kerala community event, and you can see them clicking pictures with them. And we've always, from starting itself, we've seen how Shahid Afridi had a anti-India stance, how he was very vocal about, spreading misinformation, spreading many unwanted, unclarified, details. And clearly now, just a while back, we see this very Indian community, Indian Kerala community coming and showering praises to Shahid Afridi, Umar Gul at this very UAE event. And it's a question of integrity itself. Where is this going? You know, this is clearly bizarre when we have this community. Also, the Cuba community, it consists of many such people. That is Vivek Jayakumar, who is the president. There is Adarsh Nasir, who is the General Secretary, Dr. Ramzana Nujum, who is the Treasurer, Arun Kumar as Vice President. There is Rizwan Mupen, who is the General Secretary and ACCAF representative. There is Beslin Seju, who is the Sports Secretary. There is Vani Arun, who is the Art Secretary. And also there is Rehman Muhammad Ali also. Now clearly all these members, they were there, they were greeting, and it's a moment of shocker because there was one death from Kerala itself, Edapalli, that was N. Ramachandran, and now we see on the other hand we've lost 26 people, Kerala lost one life, and now this Cuba community of Kerala, the Cochin University, they're going and they're shaking hands and they're taking pictures with Shahid Afridi, who always had a anti-India stance itself, Malvika, and it's a question about honor, and it raises several several questions itself about the community itself, or the Cuba committee itself. Yes.
All right, thank you, Brian. Navya Haridas, BJP leader, is still with us on the broadcast. Ma'am, do you believe this clarification that the Cuba committee has given, or is it, are they merely brushing this massive blunder by them under the carpet? You know, they have said that they were at some other event in the same venue and they just happened to come by and they had not been invited. So do you believe the clarification that the association is giving, or do you think that they are just brushing this issue under the carpet, this blunder that has taken place?
I don't believe it's a mistake or it's happened as such, but it's a planned event, because from the video clipping itself, it's very clear that they were expecting Shahid Afridi to that event, and the way they have invited him on the red carpet and to the stage, they followed them with all sort of grand missions. So it's not a mistake. Actually, they are, I think they are taking a different stand now, because they are getting the criticisms from all over India, from all over Kerala. We would clearly say that no one is going to support them, because we all know how Operation Sindoor was executed in such a way, and we all feel proud that Pahalgam attack, India has of the reactions from India after that attack in the Operation Sindoor itself. On one side, we are so proud on the stand taken by India, and the after effects also. There are so many dealings between the India being cancelled with Pakistan. On one side, we stand with the nation, and on other side, we, while seeing these events, actually our heads are bowing in shame, because we never expect our community to, what do you say, to welcome such a person, such a citizen to that event. So after getting these criticisms, they are changing the stand, and they are now saying that it's a mistake. But we strongly believe that it's not a mistake, and they are responsible to give a clarification to the whole Indian community regarding this issue. And we strongly want to know what the intention was, their intention also.
Ma'am, you said that you believe that this was a planned event. So, why would any organization want to felicitate a man who has made a slew of such distasteful comments against India during such a critical time when we lost 26 innocent civilian lives?
That's what I said earlier. They are actually insulting our soldiers. We know that Shahid Afridi had strongly criticized the Indian army. So by giving such a warm welcome to this, Shahid Afridi means clearly state that it's insultance to the whole Indian army. So it's not actually unacceptable. Is unacceptable by the community, by Indians, by Kerala. And I'm so shameful to say that from my state also there are the organizers are also from my state itself. So the intention need to be checked. And as you said, we also don't know why they are trying to get a fame out of welcoming him to that event. Yes.
So, ma'am, now what action should be taken against the committee? Should there be action taken against them? And if so, what sort of action would you like to see being taken against them for this event?
They must say sorry to the Indian community, because that's why I said earlier, there should be some clarifications. We all are checking what the intention behind this one is. So the clarification should be made, and they have the responsibility, they should take up the responsibility to convince the whole, our community, to convince our whole country on this one, on this event.
Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, ma'am. We now have Professor Madhav Nalapat, Editorial Director of the Sunday Guardian, joining us live on the broadcast. Sir, again, such a grand welcome has been given to someone who has made such distasteful remarks against India and against the Indian Armed Forces, who has repeatedly made distasteful comments, and now an Indian association has rolled out the red carpet for him. What is your assessment of the situation?
I want to say that as a Malayali myself, I am deeply ashamed of what happened. Deeply ashamed. Many Malayalis are serving, have served in the police, in the armed forces, in the BSF, and they have acquitted themselves wonderfully. They have been heroes. Many have died the line of duty facing Pakistani fire. So it is a disrespect, to the memory of all these brave martyrs who laid down their lives. And they were from the Hindu community, the Christian community, the Muslim community, all communities, all Malayalis. And this is a disgrace. You are basically, I don't want to use, I need to use some strong language. You're spitting on their memory. You're spitting on their martyrdom by this kind of act. So I want to say it's absolutely unpardonable. It's absolutely, they're disgusting. And I want to say that as a Malayali myself, I am really shocked and horrified that people from Kerala would organize for a event like this, and who come from possibly some of his relatives or ancestors may have killed Indian citizens through acts of terrorism mostly. So that's how the Pakistan army operates. And it is a disgrace, it's a shame. It's a shame to not only the Malayali community, but to the whole world, that you have people glorifying terror and, and basically spitting at those who fight terror. This is a fight against terroristan. It's a fight against terror. There's no such thing called Pakistan anymore. It's terroristan, because run by DHQ Rawalpindi. It is completely the terror. So you are spitting on all those people around the world who died as a consequence of the dirty, dastardly act of terrorists. So I want to say, I don't know what to say, because it's impossible to find words to describe the disgust that we all feel at this kind of utterly shocking behavior on the part of this association. And I frankly feel it's in the UAE, obviously UAE is neutral where that matter is concerned, and it should be. UAE is a very good friend of India, and it is neutral and respect them.
Sir, as you said, it wasn't just distasteful, it was disrespectful. 26 innocent civilians lost their lives, and to then host such an event, give such a grand welcome to someone who has made such statements. So what actions do you think, should there be actions taken against the committee, and what sort of action would you like to see be given out to them?
We and other Gulf states, India, Pakistan should not be put very frankly inside the country. They are taking a very neutral stance, and we should respect that. We should respect UAE law. Under UAE law, I don't believe anything wrong has been done. It's not a question of law. It's a question of ethics and morals. It's not a question of law at all. And yes, it happened in the UAE, and the UAE law is totally not illegal. But very honestly, these people have really, they have insulted the memory of so many brave people all across the world who have died at the hands of terrorists, and that they are basically celebrating indirectly the terrorists who killed them. So this is a celebration of terror, and I would like to say it's a warning signal that there may be people around all over the country, not only in Kerala, who are basically favoring terror, and who are favoring terror groups, and who are basically serving as the facilitators of terrorists coming across. The internal networks in India are as important as external networks, and I think we need to identify more of them and take strong action against more of them. So I think that's what we need to do, and I'm quite certain those responsible are basically looking at this, and I'm sure that they will be doing something appropriate to ensure that more lives are not lost at the hands of terrorists.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sir. We now have some weather updates coming in at this moment. Today in Ahmedabad, Army, NDRF, SDRF, Civil Defence and Police conducted a joint mock drill near Sabarmati Canal. Army and other agencies together demonstrated how to rescue people in floods. Brigadier Rajesh Kumar of CDR 85 Brigade says, "It is very important for us to coordinate with NDRF, SDRF and state agencies before sending the Army for any flood relief operation. And before the monsoon arrives, we conduct this annual drill so that all these agencies can coordinate and understand each other's capabilities." My colleague Jatin Rawal is joining us on the broadcast. Jatin, what can you tell us about the current situation in Gujarat and of these mock drills being conducted?
जी देखिए, बिल्कुल आपको बता दूं कि आज गुजरात में जो अहमदाबाद के अंदर जो साबरमती कैनाल है, साबरमती कैनाल पर जो बचाव कामगिरी की जो एजेंसियां है, जैसे कि एनडीआरएफ है, एसडीआरएफ है, साथ ही साथ जो यहाँ की जो स्थानिक पुलिस है और एनसीसी सभी के द्वारा जो है एक मॉक ड्रिल का आयोजन जो है वो किया गया था। मॉक ड्रिल का आयोजन इस वजह से किया गया था कि प्री मॉनसून कामगिरी को जो है उसको चेक किया जाए कि किस तरह से अगर आने वाले समय में जैसे कि बारिश की जो है शुरुआत होने वाली है, तो अगर भारी बारिश अगर होती है, अगर फूड जैसी समस्या का अगर सामना करना पड़ सकता है, तो उसमें ये एजेंसियां जो बचाव दल है वो किस तरह से जो कामगिरी है उनकी वो कितनी त्वरितता से उसको जो है वो कामगिरी करते हैं, किस तरह से उनकी रिएक्शन उनका किस तरह से रहता है, कितनी जल्दी वो वहां पर पहुंचते हैं, उनके पास जो बोट है, जो बाकी जो उनके जो इक्विपमेंट्स है वो सभी एक्टिव है या नहीं है, वो किस तरह से उनकी कामगिरी है, उसमें अगर कोई त्रुटि है तो उसको किस तरह से सॉर्ट आउट जो है वो किया जा सकता है। उस वजह से इस मॉक ड्रिल का जो है वो आयोजन किया गया है। साथ ही साथ आप मेरे पीछे की तरफ आप देख सकते हैं जो स्टेट इमरजेंसी ऑपरेशन सेंटर है, जहां पर हम अभी जो है वो खड़े हैं। यहीं पर ये गुजरात का ये जो स्टेट इमरजेंसी ऑपरेशन सेंटर है, यहीं पर से ये कंट्रोल रूम है और यहीं से पूरे गुजरात के अंदर जो है वो नजर बनाए रखते हैं। यहीं अभी जो है फिलहाल अभी इस जगह पर अभी जो एससीओसी में अभी बैठक जो है वो चल रही है, जहां पर राहत कमिश्नर जयंती रवि है, राहत सचिव जो है जयंती रवि, उनके अध्यक्षता में ये बैठक जो है वो चल रही है, जहां पर राजकुमार पांडेयन जी जो है वो आईपीएस वो यहाँ पर उपस्थित है। साथ ही साथ जो सभी बचाव दल के जितने भी जो उच्च अधिकारी है वो सभी इस बैठक में जो है वो यहाँ पर अभी जो है वो उपस्थित है। सुबह में पहले मॉक ड्रिल की गई, अब फिर अभी फिलहाल जो है अभी बैठक का दौर जो है वो चल रहा है। बैठक के बाद यहाँ पर हो सकता है पता मैसेज मिले कि किस तरह से वो प्री मानसून की कामगिरी को लेकर किस तरह का उनके द्वारा जो है एक्शन प्लान जो है वो तैयार की गया है। लेकिन सुबह में जो मॉक ड्रिल की गई थी उससे उसका काफी अच्छा जो है वो रिस्पॉन्स देखने को जो है वो मिला। अब देखना यह कि बैठक के बाद क्या बातें निकलकर सामने आती है और सरकार के द्वारा क्या एक्शन प्लान लिया गया है। जी।
All right, thank you, Jatin. We have some more developments coming in. SDRF, Civil Defence and local administration rescue the affected people following severe waterlogging in parts of the city caused by incessant and heavy rainfall in Assam. My colleague Nibir Deka is joining us for more on this story. Nibir, what can you tell us about the current situation in Assam and the relief efforts that are being undertaken there?
Well, there has been rainfall going on for the last 48 hours or so, which has led to rising water levels and water logging in parts of the city. The situation right now has improved since yesterday because there has not been any heavy rain since morning. However, it's very complicated in certain parts of the city where the waters are still inside houses. And secondly, there are also problems being faced in terms of landslides and rock slides. So, district administration along with the emergency services are working full time to mitigate the problem and to also evacuate people from the danger zones to the safer zones.
Stay on with us, Nibir. We have some more news coming in. Water levels of the Teesta River increases following heavy rainfall in the North Sikkim region of Sikkim. Yes, Nibir, please share with us the details of this.
Well, the Teesta River water has risen due to the rainfall seen in Sikkim and parts of the northeast in the last 48 hours or so, and as a result of that, the water levels has increased. What has that led to is that with Tista river rising, it also proves a risk to the areas of North Sikkim, which is a very touristy place, remember, and that can lead to a lot of problems. As a result of that, the district administration, along with the emergency services, they are working full time, and people who are living in vulnerable areas, those areas have been identified and they have been taken to the safer zones.
Thank you, Nibir. Meanwhile, we have some more breaking news coming in. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri engaged in several high-level engagements with senior officials of the U.S. administration. Misri held talks with Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, Michael Faulkner, where they discussed collaboration in the upcoming Financial Action Task Force processes. A statement by the Ministry of External Affairs has read, with Deputy Secretary of the Treasury Financial Action Task Force, the Foreign Secretary discussed ways to deepen economic and financial ties, including collaboration in international financial institutions and coordination in the upcoming Financial Action Task Force processes. So, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri was on an official visit to the United States, where he held a number of high-level engagements with US officials. He has now met with the Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, Michael Faulkner, where they have discussed collaborations of the Financial Action Task Force processes. The Ministry of External Affairs has shared that the two discussed ways to deepen economic and financial ties. My colleague Brian Thomas is joining us for more on this story. Brian, please take us through the details of the conversations that have taken place between the two.
Clearly, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri concluded a 3-day visit to Washington that happened from May 27 to 29. Vikram Misri also engaged in a series of high-level meetings with senior officials of U.S. administration aimed at deepening India-U.S. strategic and economic ties. During the discussion with Deputy Secretary of Treasury Michael Faulkner also, the two sides explored avenues to strengthen bilateral economic and financial cooperation. They focused on enhancing collaboration between international financial institutions and aligning efforts ahead of the upcoming Financial Action Task Force. And Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri also met with Under Secretary of Commerce Jeffrey Kessler also to assess progress on the India-U.S. bilateral trade agreement and to further cooperation in critical and emerging technologies. And both sides also acknowledged the need to streamline U.S. export controls, particularly under the International Traffic in Arms Regulation, to facilitate smoother technology exchanges. And also two countries also agreed to convene the next meeting of the India-U.S. Strategic Trade Dialogue at the earliest opportunity, reflecting a very shared commitment to strengthening trade and technology partnerships. Yes.
Thank you for those details, Brian. That's all for this bulletin. We'll slip into a short break.